Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be ranking the Genshin characters by if they would survive on a deserted island. Now, this video is going to have quite a few little rules in place, and all of them are just to make this a more fun experience, if you feel me. So, first up, no character is going to be alone on this island. Nah, everyone is going to have a randomly selected partner, which we will be determining with this. The Wheel of Spinniness, because I think it's pretty boring if every character was just left alone and it would just be like, oh yeah, Tagnari would survive, but someone like, I don't know, Barbara, nah, she's dead. And two more quick little last points. Obviously, no visions or elemental powers can be used on the island. Nah, it's only a character's own personal skills that are gonna matter. And lastly, every character will be rescued after 100 days on the island. Now, are the characters gonna know that they're gonna be rescued? Nah, because that would give them too much hope. I sound like a psychopath. With that long intro out of the way, let's get on to our first pairing. I'm significantly excited. So apparently there's a little clapping sound. So we have Kashing and we have... So we have Kashing and Kave. All right, so the survival skills in this duo are probably pretty good, actually. Yeah, all right. So our boy Kave, being the architect that he is, can probably build them like a bit of a shelter that could probably survive the elements. Like out of every single character here, Kave is the one who's probably gonna have the most comfortable living conditions. Outside of that, though, are they gonna have any other issues? I think they're both pretty mentally sound. Debatably, Kave might have like a stroke. But I think Kashing, being the partner, the very more well-grounded one, would keep their sanity in check as much as she could. So I have some slight doubts with this group in terms of finding appropriate substance, like food and stuff. So it's tricky. I'm not sure Kashing's like knowledge base when it comes to survival skills, but I'm gonna put them both in might survive. I'm just not sure if they're gonna be able to feed themselves or tend to any real wounds, if you will. Like if they get infected, I don't know if one of them can administer first aid, but yeah, it's definitely a 50-50 for our first pair. Next up we got oh no, Barbara, you're gonna need to have a really good partner, I think. I mean, so a lawyer and a nun walk onto a deserted island. Like, wait. Okay, I think Yenfei's definitely gonna be the one that survives longer out of the two, because she might try to calm Barbara down at first, but eventually I think Barbara's gonna have a stroke. She's away from her sister too long, man. And she's already been through so much in her normal life. She doesn't need this. While Yenfei, I don't think she has the appropriate amount of skills for this. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, she's super smart, but I feel like there's probably something she's missing. Like, could she treat an infection? Would she be able to get sufficient food? Ooh, actually, I think she might. Yeah, because isn't she like half Adeptus or something like that? So maybe Cloud Retainer taught her a couple things in the wild? Ooh, wait. It's tricky. I'm gonna put her in another 50-50 because I'm not sure the extent of her knowledge when it comes to this. I swear, this 50-50 category is gonna be packed by the end of this list. Next pairing. This is so cursed. I love it. Okay, whoever's paired up with Aether is gonna be a lucky person. You are so lucky that you are paired up with this man. I can't stress that enough. So Aether is basically already homeless. So he's definitely gonna have a better head on his shoulders than a good portion of the people here when it comes to just surviving in the wild. I know it's not technically the wild, but it's a deserted island, like rough conditions and stuff. So I think he's definitely going to be able to treat infections. He's going to be able to fish, probably makes his own fishing rod out of wood or something. And he has a very good head on his shoulders. Meanwhile, as with A, she would probably starve to death or just eat a poisonous mushroom, I think. Yeah, because she wouldn't know what's like edible in a situation like this. And infections, she would probably just look at them as minor inconveniences. But after a couple of different like poisons in her system, yeah, she might die. But since she's paired with Aether, I think Aether is going to survive 100% the 100 days and get rescued, while as A is going to be riding on this man's back, winky face. Also, I didn't mention this escapes on a raft option is another way of getting off the island, but it is 100 times more risky. Like the odds of you dying out at sea with just running out of food, not knowing when you're going to get to your destination, eaten by a shark, like this is for the people who just want to rush off the island. But Aether's a patient, smart man. Yes, he wouldn't know he's getting rescued, obviously, but maybe he'd set up like a little SOS sign on the beach and a helicopter sees it. Yeah, I think these two would be fine. Okay, this is a very interesting one. I wonder who's gonna get paired up with Dea. Huh. Okay. I'm crying. All right, so Fischl and Dea. This is the most cursed group. So Dea's used to living in harsh conditions, although they're mostly in the desert. So yes, there's gonna be some skills she takes from the desert to surviving on an island like this, but there's also some things that I'm not sure she would know. Like, I don't know if she's gonna know which like mushrooms are safe to eat kind of thing, because she's native to the desert. She doesn't know about forest or island subsistence, if you feel me. But things like shelter, starting a fire, getting fish in the water, she 100% has that down. Fischl, on the other hand, actually might be pretty good as well. When I was laughing before, it was mostly just because of this dynamic right here. But nah, I think Fischl, since she's part of the Adventurers Guild, probably has a better head on her shoulders than I actually give her credit for. Yeah, wait, this is kind of weird. So weirdly enough, this might be the most balanced duo we have so far. Because Fischl is 100% your source of entertainment in a scenario like this, and I think she would be able to distinguish things that are healthy to eat and things that aren't. You know what? I think they would both survive a situation like this. Dea might actually get a little carried by Fischl, which is never a sentence I thought I'd say. This is the healthiest duo so far, and that is saying a lot, okay? This is the most fun I've had recording so far. So we got Hazo. And Nilou. Now this is a very weird group because they're both like kinda really different, but they both have the tendency to just get along with anybody, I feel. So I think they'd keep each other good company. In terms of survival skills, how much does Nilou know? Because she was like in the Grand Bazaar almost her whole life. So I'm not sure if she knows a lot of those wild properties. I think it's possible she might die from an infection. Has a panic attack? I don't think so, because she's really kind of durable in her own weird way. Like she can handle stressful situations. Meanwhile, as Hazo, I feel like Hazo, since he's a smart guy, probably knows quite a bit. These are gonna have to be a 50-50 because I'm not sure of the extent of their survival knowledge. Like there's some things I know they'll be fine with. Putting up shelter, starting a fire. It's just little things like, could they treat an infection? Would they be able to distinguish healthy foods from stuff that would just make you commit die? But I'm just gonna put them in 50-50. A very interesting duo though, for sure. Oh, whoever's paired with Yelan, you was a lucky person for a couple of different reasons. Bro! No. All of the powerhouses are getting paired together. Like, come on. Okay, so Yelan in her line of work has for sure had to camp out in the wild so many different times. And she has to have a good idea of what's just safe to eat, survival precautions, all of that stuff. Like, remember when we saw her in the chasm? She was the one who was the most calm and composed. Nah, Yelan's fine, and she's paired with Candace. Like, these two interacting, I think they would get along pretty well, actually. It's a weird dynamic, though. But yeah, Candace is very similar to Dea. It's just I don't know if she would be able to know certain things about an island because she's native to the desert. But the things that she lacks, I think Yelan would probably be able to compensate for that. Yeah, so I'm gonna put them both in survives the 100 days. I'm kind of tempted to change this escape on a raft option. Actually, do you think Yelan would try to escape on a raft? Nah, because she's pretty smart and I think she'd be able to know that the odds of surviving in a place with access to food and everything is probably higher than just being out at seas. I'm probably gonna change this soon if we don't get a character here. But next duo. Ooh, yeah, okay. Wait, this is gonna be so weird. This is another dynamic I want to see happen so badly. Okay, so Beto with her whole upbringing would be fine in any situation, I feel. Even though she's always out at seas and is rarely on land, I think her very rough childhood and her having to survive would probably compensate for that. I'm sure she probably had to go through more rigorous conditions than being stranded on an island, which technically has a reliable source of food. So I think Beto would be perfectly fine. Lila, if she wasn't paired with Beto, I think would starve to death. Because I don't think her knowledge of the stars and astrology is gonna come in handy in a situation like this. She might know a bit because she's very well versed in just a bunch of different information, but I'm still gonna put her on gets carried by Beto. Ooh, wait, no. Beto's gonna escape on a raft and she's gonna build the most luxurious raft you've ever seen. And I think she's gonna tell Lila, you can come with me or you can starve to death on this island. And I think Lila would just be like, yeah, I'll come with you. So these two are gonna be raft buddies. Would they survive at sea? I think Beto's one of the few characters that I'm gonna say yes. I can just imagine her fisting a shark. Wait, I should have worded that differently, but you know what I mean, okay? All right, whoever this man's partner is, I think I'm gonna feel a little bad. I don't know. Okay, I feel like this is another powerhouse duo. So Ganyu and Al-Haytham. I think Ganyu is gonna be one of those few characters that doesn't annoy Al-Haytham. Because both of these characters are so freaking smart. Obviously, Al-Haytham's on another level in a situation like this, but maybe since Ganyu's really old, she can rival his intelligence a bit. I think Ganyu is gonna definitely have a good keen sense of what's healthy to eat and how to avoid infections. And Al-Haytham is probably the same. Because yes, he's a bit of a book nerd, but he has such a vast array of knowledge. Like, this man's giga-brained. That somewhere in that head of his, I'm sure the survival encyclopedia, I'm sure that's in one of the corners of his brain. So these two are gonna be perfectly fine. Either of these two I think could survive on their own, but together they're 100% a powerhouse dynamic. Yeah, and they're both so passive. Ooh, this is such an interesting duo. I don't think either of them is gonna escape on a raft though. Honestly, Al-Haytham would probably just be vibing on this island away from other people. Yeah. Hey guys, editing bonk real quick. So I ran into a bit of an issue while editing. Apparently this file was over 70 gigs big, probably because I use my settings for when I record gameplay by accident. Anyway, I had to condense the rest of the video. Before it was an hour and 10, now it's like 55. I also removed the edits for past this point, so apologies, but it was still a fun time, and there's a lot of funny moments that happen after this, so just please try to enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you. Jin. Ooh, wait, how is she gonna be? Okay, wait, I need to see her partner. That's gonna like make all the difference. These two are gonna get along so freaking well. Okay, Yoimiya and Jin, they're gonna become best friends during this whole experience. With that in mind, are they gonna survive? I'm not sure. Okay, so Jin is very much a high member of society that I feel like a situation like this is definitely not gonna be up her alley. I don't think she's gonna have a panic attack because she has her composure. I think she'd be very composed, but potentially, I think she would die from an infection, like potentially a poisonous mushroom kind of thing. And Yoimiya, ooh, would she be okay? Wait, these are tricky characters. Even though for sure they're gonna be besties in a scenario like this, I think Yoimiya also might die from an infection. Oh God, no! Yeah, because I can imagine she would be a bit of the carrier out of this group. Like she could probably build a tent, she could probably fish and stuff like that. I'm sure she does it with the kids, but treating infections is something I'm not 100% sure of in a scenario like this. So I'm gonna put them both here. Like they might eat a poisonous mushroom. Yeah, again, they would be best friends until the moment of their passing. At least they have good company on the way out, okay? All right, so who's the blessed partner who's getting paired with Yao Yao? Damn. Oh my God. Okay, wait, this is so odd. In my opinion, this is literally the most wholesome character in the game paired with the most not wholesome character in the game. Wait, how would this dynamic interact? Okay, Yao Yao is like literally friends with everybody, so I think she'd get along with Miko, and Miko I think would be perfectly fine with Yao Yao for a couple of reasons. One, because she's 100% gonna be really useful in a scenario like this, and secondly, she's just really wholesome and good company. So even though it's a weird dynamic to imagine, they would be fine. So would they survive? 100%. I'm just debating if Miko would get carried by Yao Yao a bit. Because the thing is, she's a fox, right? But could she transform into a fox in this scenario without elemental energy? Okay, even if she can't transform into a fox, I feel like she'll remember the memories of when she was a fox, and she was probably out in the wild at that time as well. Debatably, she might get carried by Yao Yao's expertise, but I'll still put her in survives the 100 days. Yeah, Yao Yao's kind of self-explanatory. She probably knows every medicinal herb on that island, even if she's never seen them before. She could treat infections, she'll know what's safe to eat, she'll 100% keep her composure. Yeah, these two would be perfectly fine. Jean? Okay, this is a pretty standard one. Who's gonna be paired with Jean? Ooh. Oh, these two are 100% hitting it off, bro. Okay, this is kind of tricky though, because Jean, where's Shinobu? Let me get Shinobu in here. Jean is very by the books, and I can imagine she has the survival handbook memorized in her head by now. Like the Knight's Handbook for surviving in the wild. Yes, this is a deserted island, but she can definitely keep her composure, and I think would have a pretty good chance of surviving. In terms of how these two would interact though, I think they would get along pretty well, because Jean is very simple. Shinobu has a bit of a temper from time to time, but is really chill and can just vibe with anyone. So yeah, they'd be a good group. I think Jean more than likely knows how to treat infections, while Shinobu can probably distinguish what food is healthy to eat. Yeah, okay, wait. This is a very good duo. I like these two together. I'm gonna put them in survives for the 100 days. Yeah, we're getting a lot of survivors here. I like it. I'm sure this is gonna continue, which I am intentionally jinxing it because I need some chaos, bro. Guys, I freaking promise that was not scripted, okay? I mean, I literally can't script this if I wanted to. Okay, Klee. Watch she be paired with the most normal person. Oh my god. Wait. I need to think how this is gonna work for a second here. All right, so Klee, being a Knight of Favonius, I'm sure has some very basic survival skills, but I don't think she's gonna be able to treat her own infections. That's where I'm gonna say Nahida comes in. Because yes, she doesn't have her elemental god powers, but she's been around for so long, is incredibly smart. She for sure has everything down packed when it comes to surviving. Now, how would these two interact? I have absolutely no idea. I feel like they would get along because they're both just positive balls of energy. Actually, Klee's the more energetic one, while Nahida's gonna be the one that has to keep Klee in check. Like if Nahida wasn't here, Klee would burn down this entire island. Even if she doesn't have her pyrovision, somehow this island would burn down. Like maybe the fire's unattended to one night. I'm gonna say Nahida would survive, while Klee, definitely I would put her in 50-50, but I'm gonna say she gets carried by Nahida. In a situation like this, yeah. Very simple one. Okay. Ooh. Another very odd pairing. Amber and Jingcho, wait, this is an interesting dynamic as well. Ooh, wait, what if they vibe with their whole idea of justice? Yeah, okay. So Amber is very like, wants to do the right thing. She's always trying to do good. While Jingcho is just, stop, you violated the law. So I think they would vibe with that. Ooh, I think they would be good friends actually. In terms of surviving, I think Amber's gonna have the better chance because she's an outrider with the Knights and I'm sure she's had to camp out a lot of times in the wild. But at the same time, both of these characters kind of strike me as the type to just want to get off the island as quickly as possible. So I'm gonna say Amber encourages Zheng Cho, who probably has a little bit less knowledge in this field, to escape on a raft with her. Yeah, and I am not sure if they're gonna survive the open waters. It's gonna be really tricky. I'm sure they would have enough food and sustenance to last them for a while, but again, you never know if the raft will start leaking, if a shark will just decide to end your whole career. But they might survive. Like escapes on a raft means 50-50. Unless you're Beto, it's just, you're fine. Next up. All right, who's gonna have the pleasure of having Mona as an island buddy? Mona, you are so lucky. Wait, is she lucky? Wait, no, I need to think about this. All right, so Mona and Razor. I can imagine Mona getting pretty fed up with Razor. Yeah, because she's very impatient and Razor's lack of ability to just communicate at certain points, if you will, might bother her a bit. So in terms of getting along, I don't see this working that well. And Razor would probably get a little angry at Mona from time to time. With that in mind, I think Razor would be okay until he dies from an infection. Yeah, because maybe something randomly bites him and it just starts to swell up. And Razor, like, yes, he's native to the wilds already, but I don't think he would necessarily know how to treat something like that, right? Like, it's kind of tricky. But I just feel like he might slip up. Like in terms of food and stuff, I think he would be fine, but eventually I think he would die from an infection. Meanwhile, as with Mona, she's gonna starve to death. Even though there's food probably native to this island a little bit, I think she's gonna be a little wary about eating and not knowing what's poisonous or not. And I think Razor would be able to tell her what's good and bad at first, but after Razor dies from an infection, I think she might just not trust any food ever again and just starve out. Like a situation like this with Mona, I don't think would work out so well. Unless she was getting carried by someone, but not today, girl. I think Ayaka's gonna need pretty good partner for this, yeah. Ayaka, you just got the best partner you can imagine in a situation like this. Okay, so Tignari is 100% hard carrying this team. Because Ayaka's always been a bit of a shut-in, so I don't think she's gonna know much about just plants, what's healthy to eat. And debatably, if someone like Tignari wasn't here, she might even have a panic attack. But Tignari would just be like, relax, you lummox. And I think even though he's super strict, these two would get along really well. Yeah, because Ayaka's very similar to Kale in the sense that they're both just really wholesome. But Tignari's just gonna know the ins and outs of this island within a couple of days. Like, he's gonna know what's poisonous, what you can eat. He would for sure be in charge of getting food, building the shelter. Eventually, I think he would teach Ayaka a lot of the ins and outs of surviving, in which case, eventually she would become useful, but she's for sure getting carried by Tignari in a situation like this. Yeah. Sayu! Ooh, tricky. Okay, who's gonna be paired with Sleepo Beepo? Another character who has been blessed. All right, so Sayu and Aloy. This dynamic is it's kind of cursed actually. Because Aloy strikes me as the most hardworking person, while Sayu is just, meh. So Sayu being part of the Shimatsuban, I think I pronounced that right. If I didn't, I'm sure I'll be notified. But she probably actually has a bit of knowledge that she probably slept through, to be honest. Meanwhile, as with Aloy, she's basically native to the wilds anyway. Again, this is an island, so things are a little different for sure. But I think she'd get accustomed to this way of life really quickly. Would she try to escape on a raft? I don't necessarily think so, no. I think maybe after the 100 days, she might. But since they're being rescued on day 100, I'm gonna put her in survives the 100 days. Meanwhile, Asayu, actually, I'm gonna say she dies from an infection because she's probably just not paying much attention to the severity of the situation. Yeah, because Aloy, I think, would teach her a lot of the ins and outs, but Sayu, she'd probably like sleep through it, I feel. It's tricky. It's either getting carried or just death by infection. But I'll put her in death by infection. I think that's the more likely approach, yes. Ooh, okay, well, that's a weird one. Who's gonna be paired with the quiet, mysterious man? This is oh my god, this is another dynamic I want to see so bad. Wait, okay, Albedo and Zhao? Okay, so these two are gonna get along so well because they're both really quiet, but when push comes to shove, they're gonna know when they have to communicate with each other. Yeah, okay. So, in terms of survival skills, I'm sure Albedo has something in that colossally large head of his. And wait, could he potentially make things since he's on the island? Wait, because he's not gonna have access to like an alchemy bench, but he gives me heavy like Tony Stark vibes because even though he has barely any materials at his disposal, he'll probably make like the most futuristic looking raft you've ever seen. Wait, yes, okay, I like that. And Zhao? I think Zhao would more than likely go with him, but even in the wild, in a scenario like that, if they were to stay on the island, I think they would both be fine, because Zhao's just used to being in the wilderness in Liyue anyway. So yeah, this is kind of a simple one that I kind of love. I love this dynamic so much, I can't stress it enough. But I think they're gonna escape on Albedo's futuristic looking raft. Yes. Getting paired with Rosaria on a deserted island? Okay. Hell nah! I'm crying. dying. No. So this is how this is gonna go down. You know how Ito and Yelan, you know how they got along swimmingly? This is like that, just put it up to an 11. So I think since Rosaria's low-key a really good person, she's gonna tell Ito at first what's safe and what's not safe to eat and just give him a bunch of precautions, right? But Ito's like, don't worry, girl, I know what I'm doing. And then Rosaria's just like, you know what? Just do what you want. I don't give a crap. So Ito 100% is dying from some kind of infection, while Rosaria's gonna be perfectly fine. Because her childhood, bro, like, she's gone through so much. She's gonna know how to survive a situation like this. I'm just wondering if she would build a raft. Maybe she would like the solitude of the island, actually. It's debatable between these two, but I'm gonna put her in survives for 100 days. Yeah. Kazuzu! Oh, he would be pretty chill to have as a partner. Wait, who's gonna be his partner though? I'm curious. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. This is an interesting one, to say the least. All right, so Kazuha and Sara as a team. Okay, so obviously Sara's a Raiden simp, and Raiden and Kazuha, they didn't really get along so well. But in a scenario like this, both of these characters, despite being so different from each other, are perfect to have as respective partners. Because Sara is the type to keep a calm and collected head throughout this whole ordeal, while Kazuha is the same, just in a different way. Like, she's strict and he's calm, but strict in his own weird way. It's kind of weird. In terms of survival skills, I think since Sara's basically a police officer, like part of the shogunate, she's gonna have a bit of knowledge, but I would be more inclined to put her in 50-50 if it wasn't for Kazuha as her partner. Because Kazuha, like, he's homeless. He's similar to Aether, Canadian Aether, if you will. In the sense that he's always wandering about, eating off the land, living off the land. He can probably adapt to a situation like this really quickly. In which case, I'm just wondering if he's gonna take the risk of getting a raft, like building a raft, because it's so risky. No, I think since they're so calm and collected, I'm gonna put Kazuha in survives the 100 days, and Sara might rely on him a bit. I'll put Sara at like the top of relies on a partner, because if he wasn't here, I would be putting her in the 50-50, but we'll put her here. Next. Ah, you're so blessed, whoever you are. So we got Toma. Who's gonna be the lucky person who gets Toma as a partner? Hold up a second. All right, so Ningguang and where's Toma? Toma's at the bottom. Okay, these two are tough, really, really tough. Okay, so the thing with Ningguang is, yes, she's like the queen pin of Liyue, but she also had a really rough start. Like, she was she was poor, living off of scraps at the beginning of her life. So a situation like this, I think she would actually be okay in. And then Toma as her partner is just the icing on the cake, bro. Like, I'm sure this man has an insanely big backlog of just knowing what's safe to eat. Like, he would know what's poisonous. He would more than likely know how to treat infections. So yeah, I'm just imagining they would both have like little roles. Like, Ningguang would be the fisher. She goes to catch fish. She would also build the shelter. Toma gets food in the wild. Ooh, wait. I actually love this duo, and they're gonna get along so well because they're both so adaptable with people. Oh my god, wait, nah. They're both surviving for 100 days. Ooh, wait. I think Ningguang, since she has so much priorities back in Liyue, might build a raft, actually. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna put... Should Toma go with her on the raft, or should he survive the 100 days? I'm gonna say, since he's a caring person, I think she's gonna go with Ningguang. And I think they'd have a decent chance of survival. It's not guaranteed that they would make it off of that raft alive, but I'm gonna hope that they survive. Wait, is Baiju still on this? Baiju's still on the list. I'm kind of hoping she gets paired with Baiju. It's like a 1 in 30 chance, I think. Wait. Wait, oh no. That was kind of close. Wait. Oh, I fucking can't. Oh no. So we got Wanderer and Chi-Chi. Okay, so these two getting along is such a tricky thing to envision. Ooh, wait, no. I think Skara might get along with Chi-Chi because she's a kid and he might have that urge to protect. Yes. Okay. And Chi-Chi just, I mean, she can technically get along with everybody. Now, would they survive? Chi-Chi has an extensive knowledge base, I think, when it comes to like medicine and treating infections, but she also has a bit of amnesia, so she might forget certain things. Okay, I think Skara, wait, no, Skara's a puppet. Wait, no, these two are basically immortal. I just realized that. Skara's a puppet, Chi-Chi's a zombie. Wait, this is the sleeper powerhouse duo. Okay, so infections, substance, it doesn't really matter for them. Yo, they're surviving. They're surviving the 100 days. I can't believe these two got paired together. Okay, I think that's kind of enough said. Would they want to escape on a raft? Hell nah. I think Skara would prefer it here because there's no other people. And Chi-Chi, I think, would just follow him around. Wait, it's perfect. Okay, next duo. All right, so it was Hu Tao. Who is who gonna get paired with? Is Zhongli still on the? Oh, boo. Ooh, this is an interesting duo. So you have a very normal guy, and then you have the most outgoing, kind of crazy girl. With that in mind, I think it would take Goro a bit of getting used to vibe with Hu Tao. Meanwhile, as Hu Tao literally just vibes with everybody any day of the week. So I think they would get along after a bit of time. Yeah. In terms of if they would survive, ooh. I'm not sure if Hu Tao's gonna make it out of this, first of all. Because Goro, I think, probably has a good general basis of how to survive. But even with that, I would put Goro alone in 50-50. Meanwhile, as Hu Tao, I think is gonna get an infection. Yeah, because I think Goro's gonna be a little uncertain with certain things. That he's like, I think you can eat that mushroom. And Hu Tao's like, awesome, I'm starving. And then 2 seconds later, he's like, wait, it might be poisonous. And then he looks at Hu Tao and she's just like dying on the ground. But Goro himself, I think, might survive. It's tricky. Like, if he was paired with Kokomi and it would give him that confidence boost, he would be fine. But by himself now, ooh, because Hu Tao's not there. Actually, I think after Hu Tao dies, he's gonna have a panic attack. Yeah, because he really strikes me as the type who needs other people. So I think he's gonna just die that way. Yeah, I'm gonna put him down here. Next pairing. I feel so bad for whoever's getting paired with this man. Oh no. Please don't make it someone wholesome. Not someone wholesome, please. I mean... Okay, this is how it's gonna go down. Benny and Lisa. So Benny, despite being the epitome of being cursed, has a lot of skills that would help him in a situation like this. Because the man's a part of the Adventurers Guild. Yes, he might be a little forgetful for sure. The thing is, I think he might survive, but I'm gonna put him in 50-50. It's a mix. He can probably catch some fish, make a shelter, hunt for food, literally everything. It's just the bad luck aspect of things. So he's gonna go in 50-50. Meanwhile, as with Lisa, yes, she might have read a bit about some of the survival guidelines of Deserted Island, issue number 17, but she's probably gonna die from an infection, probably because Benny's associated with her. Because the thing is, Benny's luck is contagious. It doesn't mean he's gonna die or get an infection. It means people around him are gonna die and get an infection. So poor Lisa was the one who was cursed. Le prochain. Okay, let's go. All right, so who's getting hard carried by Lumine? I swear. Powerhouse duo. This might be one of the best duos I've seen yet. Diluc and Lumine. So first of all, they don't talk that much, so they're getting along swimmingly in a scenario like this. Secondly, I feel like both of them have had to have been in similar situations. I mean, Lumine is technically in that situation every day. Again, being homeless and all. But Diluc as well, I think probably has a good head over his shoulders when it comes to this kind of thing. Yeah, okay. Because when he was younger, his infiltration in Snezhnaya probably had to live in some sewers or something, I don't know. Again, this is all based off of what ifs. None of this is 100% guaranteed. Would they want to rush back on a raft? Ooh, I think Diluc, I can kind of see him wanting to get out as soon as possible and not being the patient type. Like that SOS sign they made on the beach. If it doesn't work after the 30th day, he would probably leave. And Lumine, would she go with him? No, I think Lumine's very independent. So Lumine's gonna stay on the island and wait for the 100 days, while Diluc will stay for 30 days, get a bunch of food in a raft, and just skadiddly daddle. Next, we have... Oh my god, yes. If I was gonna be trapped on a deserted island, I would kind of want to be with Venti. Even though I would probably die, it's still such a fun partner to have. Who's gonna be the lucky or unlucky, depending on how you look at this? Who gonna be? I couldn't have asked for a better duo. Oh my god. Okay. I'm crying again. This is like the third time. Venti and Diona. So there's no direct way of getting alcohol when on a deserted island. So even if Venti has like a little flask on him with a bit of the Jack Daniels left, that's gonna be gone in like a day. So I don't think they would argue that much. I mean, actually, no. Diona's gonna argue with anybody. She'll probably call him like Booze Hound for the entirety of the trip, or just stranded, you know what I mean? With that in mind, I don't think these two... wait, no. Diona, I think, would have a bit of knowledge because she's used to taking care of her dad and is probably a little well-versed when it comes to infections and stuff like that. But I would still put her in 50-50 because I'm not 100% sure. Meanwhile, as with Venti, bruh, I think he's gonna have a panic attack after he runs out of the drink. You cannot leave a man without his wine for 100 days. It's just not gonna work. Actually, wait. He's an Archon, so he has a good head over his shoulders. I'm gonna put him in 50-50. He might have a panic attack from alcohol withdrawal, but if he gets an infection or something, I think Diona would probably be able to treat it. Yeah, I'm gonna put them here. They're kind of interchangeable though. Although cooking isn't going to be in the traditional sense on this island, I think whoever's going to be paired with Zhengling is still going to be pretty lucky. Hey! Wait, these two are already friends. I love this. Okay, so Chongyun and Zhengling. So, I think Zhengling's definitely gonna be able to handle the food aspect of things. Meanwhile, as Chongyun, he might get really stressed out. Wait, and what if he finds out that he doesn't have any more popsicles? I think Zhengling, since she's friends with him, yo, my boy got really lucky that he got paired with her. I think she could control him for a bit, in the sense that she could calm him down with maybe some decent food. But again, they're not gonna know how long they're there. This is how I'm gonna put it. I think Chongyun is gonna eventually have a panic attack and pass away. Meanwhile, Zhengling is gonna be in 50-50. Because I'm not sure if she could treat infections. Although she might be able to avoid infections, debatably, it's still gonna be pretty rough. Like all the different bugs, all the different things that can poison you, it's gonna be 50-50 with her. At least they're with their friends in potentially their last moments. Mika, another potentially blessed partner, I feel, right? Okay, who's gonna be with Mika? Oh, this is a good duo. Yeah, it's not super powerhouse, but I think they could get by. Yeah, so Mika, 1, is associated with the Knights. 2, he's a land surveyor. And even just judging from his interaction with Tagnari during Windbloom Festival, I'm sure he can distinguish what's poisonous and what's safe to eat. Yeah, Mika's gonna be fine on his own regardless, I think. Meanwhile, as with Noelle, it just kind of increases their chances of survival. Because I think Noelle is also just gonna know about everything. Yeah, she probably has more survival insight than most of the knights in general. But together, they're both kind of timid, so it might be a bit awkward in certain situations. But I think they would get along well. And the only thing I worry about is them just knowing how to take charge, because someone's gonna have to know how to lead the other in a scenario like this. Either way though, I think they're both gonna survive for the 100 days. Yeah. Wait, oh my god, this is such a weird situation to put Dory in. Who's gonna be her partner? Wait, who's gonna be her partner? This is such a weird mix. This is such a weird dynamic. So Sucrose, the introvert, and Dory, potentially one of the most extroverted characters in the game. Also, they both have like similar glasses now that I look at them. Anyway, I feel like Dory is gonna try to take control of the situation, being the outgoing type, but I think Sucrose is gonna have more knowledge about stuff like this. Yeah, so she's gonna be similar to Albedo, just not on his like level. So I think in terms of plants and what's edible in that regard, she's gonna know so much, bro. The Tetratonic Sweet Flower Queen is gonna know what to do in that scenario. It's just, I'm wondering if Dory's gonna be a bit of a bad influence. Because I'm not 100% sure if Dory's gonna be the most keen at surviving. Like maybe she'll have a stroke if she's away from her money for too long. Wait! Would Dory have a stroke from being away from money for too long? You know what? I'm gonna say yes. Either way, I'm not sure if she would survive a situation like this. Meanwhile, Sucrose being alone, because she's kind of a loner, after Dory dies, I think Sucrose's chances of survival are gonna skyrocket. Because she's not gonna have to worry about anybody else, and her following her heart is what's gonna lead to her just not dying, I feel. Meanwhile, Dory would corrupt that heart. So I'm just gonna put her in survives for the 100 days. Yeah. Ayato. Ooh, is Ayato gonna be okay? Wait, who's his partner? We gotta find out. Another weird dynamic I never thought I would see. Okay, so Eula and Ayato. Huh. Wait. So I think Eula's gonna be the more useful one out of these two. I'm just wondering how they would interact. Wait. I think since they're both from high position families, like really wealthy backgrounds, I think they would know how to interact with each other. And I think if Eula sees that Ayato isn't just some corrupt official, I think they would be kind of like besties, maybe? Wait, would they? I'm not sure. Anyway, Eula is gonna carry this team, I think, quite a bit, because Ayato is very much just the delegator in the mansion kind of guy, while Eula's more hands-on with her work in the wild. So I think she'll know how to treat infections, know what's safe to eat. So with that in mind, I think Eula's gonna survive, while Ayato's gonna be carried, like his sister over here, into surviving. Yes. We're down to the final 10? Last 10 characters? All right. It's the man, Baiju. Okay, who's he gonna go with? God, there's so many weird interactions. Okay, I'll grant, they're both from Liyue, but still, this is weird. So Xinyan and Baiju. Now, 100%, without a doubt, Baiju is gonna carry this whole operation. Now, even though they're both so different in terms of personality, I think since they're both so adaptable, I think they would probably get along pretty well. Although they do have quite a bit of an age difference, I don't think that's gonna matter. However, in terms of surviving, Baiju is gonna hard carry this team because he probably knows a lot of different poisons and medicinal herbs that he might even recognize on the island. Yeah. Ooh, wait, no. Xinyan, I think, would be the fisher. Yeah, so she would fish, meanwhile as Baiju would gather herbs and edible substance you can find in the wild, and then Xinyan would build the shelter. Okay, this is a duo that I think, would play really well off of each other, surprisingly, because they're so different. But I think Baiju is going to survive the 100 days, while Xinyan, even though she'd be good at certain things, is still going to rely on Baiju for infections and little things like that. Yeah. I've been waiting for this man to get in the picture. Wait, who's he going to be paired with? Depending on who he's paired with, this could be a powerhouse duo. So Tartaglia and Zhang Dong. Ooh. Now, I think they're both gonna be pretty good on their own, but in terms of getting along, potentially Tartaglia might get upset with Zhongli or impatient in a scenario like this. So this is what I'm gonna say happens. Tartaglia, even though he can probably survive on the island, is gonna build a raft to get away from Zhang Dong. Yes! Because Zhang Dong is probably talking this man's head off with just information about surviving. Because he's gonna know about literally everything. Because he's a walking encyclopedia. So, Zhang Dong is a patient man, so I think he'll wait out the 100 days. Yes, he won't know help's coming, but he won't mind. He'll just be vibing alone on the island, while as Tartaglia is gonna be like, get me the heck away from this man. I'm taking this bit of food and just dipping as soon as I can. His brother's waiting for him back home. Would he survive the open waters? Debatable, but he would build a raft and skedaddle, I think. Yes. The final 6. We got the Fish Queen, and who's she gonna get paired with? I don't want her to get paired with Faruzan or Kale, because I want those two to be a team. Yeah, wait, that would be so wholesome. Even Sino's there? Wait, no. I need to see who it's gonna be. I mean, I guess, yeah. Why do I feel like these two would get along so well? Yeah, because Faruzan's like the professor who just knows a little bit about everything, and Kokomi's the tactician who knows a bit about everything. So they would never run out of conversation topics. Yeah, and the fact that they both know about so many different things. Wait, this is kind of a powerhouse duo, because I know for a fact Kokomi somehow is gonna survive this. Unless she was paired with Benny. If she was, I would be so pissed. But yeah, I'm sure in her tactician's book, she has some survival tips. And even if she doesn't have the book on her, she probably has it memorized because she's so big brained. And I'm sure Faruzan has some knowledge when it comes to plant life and all that stuff. Yeah, they're both gonna be surviving. Kale and Sino, please, Kale and Sino, I need this. Okay, Kaya and Shenhe. Wait, that's cursed as well. This is gonna determine 2 teams right now. Oh my God. Wait. Why do I feel like Sino's about to execute Kaya on the island? No, honestly, wait, they both have the left eye covered. I just realized it's kind of cool. So would they get along? I don't really think so. Wait, no. I feel like Kaya's the type to be open to Sino's jokes. Yeah, because he's kind of a adaptable, open person, Kaya. So I think they might be able to vibe a bit. I think Sino might just question his intentions, but when you're just trying to survive, it doesn't really matter. So Sino's very similar to Dea and Candace in the sense that I'm sure he knows a lot about survival tactics, but that's mostly applied to the desert. Actually, wait, no, he's the Matra, so he's in the forest as well. Yeah, okay. Sino's gonna be completely fine. Meanwhile, as Kaya's part of the Knights, I'm more inclined to put him in 50-50, but would he get carried by Sino? I think a little bit, but not too much. I'm gonna put them both in survives the 100 days, yeah. And finally, we got the final pairing, Shenhe and Kale. I'm not doing Catgirl yet because I need to wait for her to come out. I need to C6 her. Anyway, this is one of the most awkward and wholesome duos I've ever seen because neither of them really talks. They're both kind of introverts, even though Shenhe's just the most blunt person you'll ever see. I think being blunt with Kale is probably a good thing, actually. So there's no sugarcoating of words. Yeah, these two would be pretty good. I think Kale is actually gonna save Shenhe's life in a scenario like this. Yeah, because I feel like Shenhe is just gonna start eating any plant she sees, and Kale's gonna be like, no, don't eat that, it's poisonous. Why is Kale the mom to One-sama Shenhe? Okay, because obviously Kale's learned from the best on how to survive in a scenario like this. So she's gonna be the survivor while Shenhe, I think, is gonna rely on a partner. That partner being Kale. Yeah. All right, guys, that was their survives on an island tier list with partners. I guess I should have mentioned that in the title. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun with this. Some of these pairings are so cursed. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care and have a good one.
Thanks for watching. Please sub. Bye.